All right, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, we like to give all the honor, the praise, and glory unto
Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem, Kakudash.
double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect scattered abroad. All right, this is the GMS Plaintables camp located in Delaware. All right, and we're going to get right into it. You know, another day prophesying the downfall of this kingdom. All right, and first off, I want to start with Isaiah, the 14th chapter. You could read down to like the 21st verse, because you know the new thing, you know, that the vocab is doing. All right, you know, he's trying to you know, break down Isaiah the 14th chapter his own way, which, you know, when you read the chapter, you know, it's very straightforward. All right, it's very black and white. All right, look up the the definition of the figurative meaning of black and white, because that's what it is, man. All right, it's not you know, figure of speech. All right, it's telling you exactly, you know, what's going to happen. Okay, so let's start off with Isaiah 14:1.
So this is Isaiah chapter 14:1. It says, "For the Lord Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel."
Yeah, he will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel. Okay, so what exactly does that mean? All right, it's going into the northern and the southern kingdom. All right, Jacob being the southern kingdom, Israel being the northern kingdom, right? Because what happened was, you know, there was a split. All right, so what's going to happen is that the Lord is going to gather, all right, his elect from all the nations. Okay, or not all the nations, so like all the tribes of Israel. Okay, go ahead.
So it says, "For the Lord Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land."
Yep, and set them in their own land. Okay, so the nation of Israel is going to be brought back to the land that they were promised. All right, by Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai. Okay, keep going.
It says, "And the strangers shall be joined with them."
All right, and the strangers shall be joined with them. Now you got that guy vocab saying, you know, this is including the heathen nations, which that's far from the case. Okay, just because it says stranger, and that's what he does. Just because something says stranger, he automatically applies it that, oh, it's got to be talking about a heathen nation, or it's got to be talking about, you know, the other nations, which that's far from the truth. All right, and can you get that definition for stranger?
So a stranger is the Hebrew word gar, which means sojourner. It also means a foreigner,
Yep.
alien, sojourner.
Yeah, sojourner. Okay, meaning what? You know, it's talk about an Israel, or which technically, you know, we will all be considered strangers. All right, because we didn't grow up in the land of Israel. All right, we grew up not knowing who we were. All right, we grew up in that Gentile state of mind, so we would be considered strangers. All of us, you know, we all can technically be considered those strangers, those Gentiles. Okay.
Yep.
Can you read? It might be something in the.
Yeah, it's a little more too. It says, "A person living out of his own country."
Oh yeah, a person living out of his own country. Out of what country? All right. We're talking about the Israelites. All right. We're not talking about, you know, the other nations. All right. A person living outside of his own country, because what had to happen was, you know, you had the Israelites who were living outside of the land, you know, that was still keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. You know, they would go up to you know, Jerusalem. All right. Like two to three times a year, right? So this is going into those Israelites, all right, that was not currently living in the land of Israel, you know, for whatever reason. Okay. Can you get Genesis 15 and 13?
So this is Genesis chapter 13, 15.
15 and 13.
Just like it.
Yep, you good.
Yeah, 15 and 13. It says, And he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in the land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them. It's lucky it says, and they shall afflict them 400 years.
Yeah, and they shall afflict them 400 years. All right. So they will be considered strangers. All right. And this ain't talk about the the Ishmaelites. All right. This is talk about a specific people that are considered strangers. Okay. Going down to Isaac, the scriptures say, "In Isaac thy seed shall be called." All right, Isaac and Jacob, more specifically. All right, and the 400 years is the Lord already telling Abram or Abraham, all right, that it'll come a time that the Israelites will be in 400 years of slavery in Egypt. Okay, so the Israelites will be known as strangers. Why? Because they will be away from their land for all those years. Okay, so that's talking about the Israelites. All right. So yeah, you can go ahead and go back to you know what, you can get Baruch 2:30, and then we'll go back to it.
Gone. So this is Baruch. It's lucky this thing. So this is Baruch chapter 2 and 30. 30, right?
Yeah.
So it says, for I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves.
So in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves. All right. Us being, strangers. Us being, having that Gentile state of mind, growing up, thinking that we Latinos or we black or Negroes. All right. African Americans. All right. Now we're going through what an awakening. All right, the Israelites are going through that awakening. All right, now we understand that we are the people of the Bible, that the Bible speaks of. All right, when you go into the curses, when you break it down, all right, and go into the meaning of these words, it's only applying to one people. All right, which are the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay, those prophecies, the curses, they apply to us.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I got that real quick. So this is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and 64. It says, and the Lord Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people, from one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
Yep.
Yeah, so the Lord has scattered us amongst all nations, man. So, that's why it says in Isaiah chapter 14 and 1 that, well, you're going to have the strangers joined back. Because why? Because what the Israelites have been scattered. So again, and as I brought out that definition, it said how, pretty much, the word for foreigner, or the word for stranger, which is gar. One of the definitions is someone living out of their own country. Mm-hmm. So I mean, technically, in a sense, man, we're all living. I mean, yeah, we're all living outside of our country, man. So, yeah, technically, we are strangers because we were not in our land currently. But the point is that we're waiting for Yahweh Shem Yashai to bring us back. But that's how what the scripture applies to us. It applies onto the Israelites. It doesn't apply onto all other nations.
Yeah, kind. And that's why when going back to Baruch, it says they shall remember themselves. Okay, it's not that. How can the heathen nations remember themselves? All right, if the covenant was never given to them. The laws, statutes, and commandments was never given to them. All right, it's nothing for them to come back to. It's nothing for them to remember.
Yeah.
Concerning Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Because the scriptures even go into the Lord never dealt with any other nation like with Israel. Okay, so it can't be talk about the heathen nations at all. Okay.
Yeah, Khan. So getting real quick, I had. So this is Ezekiel chapter. Slucky, I gotta get that. So, this is Ezekiel. Yeah, so this is Ezekiel chapter 36 and 23. It says, and I will sanctify my great name, which was profaned among the heathen, which ye have profaned in the midst of them. And the heathen shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh, saith the Lord Yahweh, when I shall be sanctified in you before their eyes. For I will take you from among the heathen and gather you out of all countries and bring you into your own land. Ooh. See? So, hey, again, the scripture's going into how the Lord is going to deliver us from these other nations and put us back in our own land. Looking back to Isaiah chapter 14 and 1. And again, so all Israelites, including those who have been scattered, they're, again, we're all going to be brought back onto our land, So,
exactly.
Again, the scriptures only say this about the Israelites. The Lord's only dealing with his people. He's not dealing with all the nations.
Yeah,
and we can, Slucky.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we can go ahead and continue. You want to continue on Isaiah chapter 14?
Nah, you can keep reading Baruch 2 and 30 because it goes into that too.
So this Baruch chapter 2 and 31, it says, so we're going to just read 30 again. It says, for I knew that they would not hear me because it is a stiff-necked people, right. But in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves.
Yep, go ahead.
And it says, and shall know that I am the Lord, their power, for I will give them an heart and ears to hear, and they shall praise me in the land of their captivity and think upon my name.
Yeah, and that's what we're doing. Okay, we're doing our best to do the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability. All right, rehearsing our righteous acts. All right, and calling upon the name of the Lord, which calling upon the name of the Lord is very important. You have to know the name. Okay, you can't call the Lord whatever you want to. All right, you cannot call whatever name you want, during, prayer and, when you giving praise to the Lord and stuff like that. All right, you have to know the name. All right, and you have to uphold it. All right, it's not something that you can just throw around or something you can interchange. All right, the Lord has one name. Okay.
Yeah, that's that's a great point because as the brothers make that example of how if you go into another land, you're gonna expect the people to call you by their name. They're not gonna translate your name. For example, if a guy's name was I don't know, Miguel, and he's coming from Mexico or something like that. Are the people here in the United States gonna call him Michael? Because I believe that's the English way of saying Miguel.
Right. Yeah.
So are they gonna call him Michael? No, they're gonna call him Miguel because that's his name. So the same point applies to how you can't change the name of the Lord and form it into another language.
God. Exactly.
And that's how names work. You can't form them into your own language. When someone tells you their name, you're gonna call it the exact same way. You're not gonna look it up and so this is the translation for your name. This is how we say in our language. No, that's not how it works. So the same thing. How much more with Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai?
Yep.
So it says Baruch chapter 2 and 32, and they shall praise me in the land of their captivity and think upon my name, and return from the stiff neck and from their wicked deeds, for they shall remember the way of their fathers, which sinned before the Lord.
Yep. So they'll remember the way of their fathers which sinned before the Lord. Like that. That's so. Who is that talking about, man? All right. That's talking about the nation of Israel, because time and time again, we went off. Okay. Going even going all the way back into the first covenant. Coming out of Egypt. When Moses was given the law written by Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, that was a covenant for us to come back to the Lord. All right, and what happened, and what would happen if we would have broke that covenant? All right, we would go through all those curses, in Deuteronomy that we're currently going through. Okay? And then so the Lord made it a way for the Israelites, all right, those who made that covenant with the Lord, another way to come back to the Lord through Yahweh Shai, man.
Yep.
Okay? That's not the heathen nations were not included in that covenant. All right, the heathen nations have no form of redemption. What is how can they redeem themselves? All right, if it's nothing to redeem. Okay?
Yeah.
It don't even make any sense.
Yeah, hey, the Lord has never made a covenant with the heathen.
Yeah. You know?
So this is Luke chapter 2 and 34. And I will bring them again into that land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers,
Yep.
Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they shall be lords of it. And I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished.
Yeah.
See?
And this has yet to happen. And that's what we were reading in Ezekiel and in Isaiah the 14th chapter. All right, this didn't already happen in ancient Babylon. Okay? This has yet to happen. All right? When the new Babylon, you know, the daughter of Babylon, all right, America, all right, we have yet to go back into that land, all right, and have that that rulership, all right, that, you know, that everlasting rulership, all right, meaning, you know, we're gonna be perfect, you know, when the law, statutes, and commandments are written in our inward parts, all right, we're not gonna go off, all right, the Lord is not gonna have a reason, you know, to put us in the state that we in. Okay, you know, we're gonna rule forever, man. All right, and what's a part of that rulership? We about to read it in Isaiah 14. Going into you know, we're gonna have slaves and servants. Okay, and that's you know, the anti-Christians or whatever, you know, they'll try to make it seem like that's such a bad thing. All right, but that's what the Lord wants. That's a part of having a kingdom, a rulership. All right, you have to have, you know, servants. All right.
Yeah. Hey, it's a you know, it's a bad thing for them.
Yep.
Or, you know, for those who aren't Israelites among, you know, those who call themselves Christians nowadays. Well, it's a bad thing for them, because again, the scriptures say how pretty much all other nations will bow down to Jacob. That's a blessing that's been given unto him.
Right.
Yeah, and it's one more verse too.
Right.
It says, Luke chapter 2 and 35, and I will make an everlasting covenant with them to be their God, and they shall be my people. And I will no more drive my people of Israel out of the land that I have given them.
Whew, there you go. And that's going into you know, of course the second covenant. All right, because when the second covenant is completely fulfilled, all right, you know, we're going to be in the kingdom. All right, the elect is going to receive that salvation. All right, those perfect bodies and never go off. All right, and that's going to be the reason, all right, that the Israelites will not be driven out of that land again. Okay, because we're going to be completely perfect. All right.
Yep. Also, going back to Isaiah chapter 14. So let's start at verse 1 again. It says, For the Lord Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. Yeah, again, strangers, we already went into that. That's speaking about the Israelite foreigners.
Right.
It says, verse 2, And the people shall take them, and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord Yahweh for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors.
Yeah, get that word for servants. All right, and this is very you know, easy to break down. All right, this isn't nothing crazy. This isn't figurative. This is what is literally going to happen, man. Go ahead.
It says, so that Hebrew word for for servants, how it appears in the original text, it says la ibadium, which means the servants, plural. For servants, plural. And it goes back onto the root word ibad, which means slave, servant, subjects.
Mm-hmm.
See, hey, so
slave, you know,
bondage.
Yeah,
bondmen.
Yeah, I remember the Apostle Tahar said, you know, the servant is just a nice way of saying a slave. You know,
Yeah.
it's the same thing.
It's you know, more
You know?
yeah, like formal, you know.
Yeah, more formal way of saying it, but you really are a slave. All right. Like, you know, slavery is slavery. You know, is viewed as, you know, the slavery that the Israelites went into. You know, they'll call it slave or slavery because it was a very a hard bondage. You know, they were just gonna say we were just servants. You know, because servant is like a light way of saying it. You know, but these people are gonna be slaves, man. All right,
Yeah.
get Psalms 2 and 8.
So this is Psalm chapter 2 and 8. It says, "Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession."
Yeah. So the heathens are going to be a part of our inheritance. All right. It's not going to just be us, you know, coming back to the land of Israel, reclaiming our land. But no, these heathens, all right, they got to be slaves under the Israelites. All right, they got to be servants under the Israelites. All right. That's what they were made to do. They were made to be servants or slaves under the Israelites. All right. So in the kingdom, all right, you got to do what we say. All right. Read verse 9 too.
So it says, "Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel."
Yeah. So it's gonna be a hard bondage, man, and you're gonna have to do what we say. All right. You know, if we tell you you gotta build this up, you gotta go build this up. You gotta, you know, if we tell you you gotta you know, do something, all right, you better do it.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, it's gonna go real deep because the scriptures say how we're gonna have our heart's desires. We're gonna be so picky. Hey, to the point where, hey, again, you know, because we're gonna have our heart's desire. You know, we're gonna make the heathen do exactly what we want them to do.
Yep.
You know, it's gonna be great, man. For, of course, the Israelites.
Yeah. But yeah, you can keep reading Isaiah.
So it says Isaiah chapter 14. Oh yeah, and that's the point. So what the scriptures say, to read again, it says verse 2, "And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord Yahweh for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them," and it's like it says, "and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors." So, you know, like this dude vocab, if this is speaking about everybody, then who's going to be our slaves, and, you know, who's going to be those who were once our oppressors, now they're going to be our captives?
Yep.
You know, who's that going to apply to if all nations will be saved? And again, so it makes no sense. You know, that would pretty much contradict itself, you know?
Exactly.
So what? Again, the scriptures say how the Lord's only dealing with the nation of Israel and how all the nations will be subject under them. So, hey.
Yeah. There's no way to get around that. All right? It's no way you could, you know, because they'll try to stretch it and you know, twist it into a way they want to interpret it. All right? But, you know, this is very straightforward. All right? You can't get around this. All right? Another fail wave is you know, vocab Malone, you know, trying to make us look bad or trying to discredit the Israelites, you know, because that's all he's there to do. He's not there to you know, preach his own doctrine. All right, his primary goal is to you know, discredit the Israelites. You know, that's his primary goal. You know, that's his main focal point. All right.
Hey, and hey, again, you know, that's why the other apostles have said, you know, we're not dealing with that dude anymore, because obviously he's not here to learn. You know, he's not here to actually hear the breakdowns in the scriptures. Well, he's there just to debate and to cause disruption, man.
Yep.
You know, to be a demon. That's you know, that's what he's there to do.
Right.
So it's no, you know, you know, it's no type of dealing you can make with that person.
Yeah.
You know, spiritually.
And you know, he'll act like, you know, when he just want to sit down to discuss, and you know, you can get your point across and get his point across or whatever. But then he'll go on his platform, you know, he'll edit it out, you know, try to make it seem like, you know, that's the type of, you know, deception only a damn devil would do, man. All right. And when you cut him in the scriptures, you know, he'll make sure to you know,
Cut it out,
cut that out of there.
Or you know, also to take down your video.
Yeah, take down your video, you know. So that's the type of tactics of deception that devil uses, all right, to make himself look good, all right, and discredit the Israelites, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, you keep reading.
So it says, Isaiah chapter 14:3, and it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord Yahweh shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou wast made to serve.
Yeah, that's again very straightforward. Because in the kingdom, all right, you know, we're gonna have rest. You know, get Micah 2:10. You know,
Yeah.
we're gonna have rest in the kingdom. All right, you know, it's not gonna be no wars. All right, it's gonna be a rulership, a righteous rulership. You know, that will be in these heathen nations will be under the Israelites. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, hey, you know, is that hey, you know, is that speaking about the small hats? You know, they were made to serve a hard bondage, and you know, obviously that's speaking about a certain group of people who have been serving a hard bondage. What they've been indoctrinated for centuries. You know what? They've been deceived for all this time. You know, their true heritage has been hidden for centuries.
Yep.
So hey, to read this, it says Micah chapter 2:10, arise ye and apart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted, it shall destroy you even with a sore destruction.
Exactly. So this ain't our rest. You know, this wicked kingdom, you know, cause Jake, you know, they want to come up in this kingdom, you know, work 80 hours a week. Oh, I'm grinding. I'm money hungry. You know, trying to open up multiple businesses and, you know, things of that nature. All right. When, you know, to really get to a certain level, you know, you have to sell out to the Edomite. All right. You want to make millions of dollars, or you want to get up to this level in some way, shape, or form, you have to sell out to the Edomites. You know, and best believe, you know, Esau, he would never allow you to get to his level, you know, to the, you know, elites, you know, top banking families, all right, the ruling class of Edomites. You never get to that level, man. All right. These jakes that you see that's on top, you know, celebrities, athletes, you know, millionaires, things like that, you know, they pretty much made a covenant with Esau to get to that point. You know, they had to make, you know, certain immoral acts, all right, in order to get there and stay there, man. You know?
Yep. Yeah, and hey. So it goes to show you that the curses apply to all Israelites, man. No matter, you know, how rich you are, hey, ultimately, what the curses still apply to you. Because ultimately, Esau is our oppressor. And, you know, it doesn't matter if you're Jay-Z, if it doesn't matter if you're LeBron, or, you know, it doesn't matter how rich you are, well, you're still under that oppression, man. You know what? LeBron James and Jay-Z, you know, they got to keep on doing wicked acts in order to stay in that position that they're in.
Yeah, and then LeBron is like, you know, the ultimate sellout. He would never do anything to offend Amalek, or he would never do anything to really come up, because he'll say the most surface level bullshit. Think like BLM, you know, Black Lives Matter, or he'll say, oh, it's sad how our people is getting gunned down by the police, or, you know, just some manner of wickedness.
Yeah, you know,
just some manner of, or not wickedness, some type of folly, which, you know, of course, our people, that's not anything that's, you know. How about you tell them that we the Israelites?
Yeah.
How about you tell them that Esau is the devil that the Bible speaks of? He would never do that. All right. because they would take away all of his money, they might take out LeBron if he said something like that. The level of influence, all right, and how Jake, cause how Jake be putting LeBron on that pedestal. LeBron is damn near an idol. You see a lot of people, a lot of people.
He is an idol, for sure, for a lot of Jake.
Yeah, like you'll see a lot of people, like you'll see a post of LeBron, they're doing a dunk. Jake, what they say? Oh, my king and all this stuff. Saying all this stuff about LeBron. All right. So imagine if he was to say he was an Israelite. Because you've had that in the past. You had certain rappers and certain even certain basketball players that knew that they were Israelites. That said a little something. But imagine if LeBron said that. But he won't. Okay. Because he got a worldly image to uphold. All right, he don't want to tarnish his image. He want to look like this guy that's, he care about what the world thinks. All right, and that's why we don't care. We don't care to get that level of riches. All right, on this side, because we know that we got the true riches, man. All right.
Yeah, and hey, anyways, it's really sad, man, because pretty much the pinnacle of our people is, sports.
Right.
Whenever you think about the best of our people, you think about sports. You think about people running back, and shooting and damn ball and shit. Which, brothers like sports and stuff. But come on, man, that shit doesn't matter. Did that shit exist back in the ancient times? Is that gonna exist once? Or once all hell breaks loose, is the regular NBA season gonna be running and stuff, and Jake's gonna be thinking about LeBron and all these different people? Nah, man, it's gonna change right then and there. And then what's really important is then gonna manifest, which ultimately being in the truth, serving Yahweh Shem Yahshai, doing the duty as the scriptures say. Our duty is to serve the Lord, man. Yeah. Our duty isn't meant to be a damn professional NFL player, or you know what I'm saying? Because that shit is all vain at the end of the day.
Yep. And that's why because a couple of days ago, or probably yesterday, I made a lesson going into make the spiritual investment and not the carnal one. All right, the spiritual investment being laboring in this truth. All right. Keeping Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua first. And, you're going to have to sacrifice things in this world in order to be in good standing with Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, rather than, the carnal possession. You're trying to get to this new job, new salary. All right, you're trying to get this new home. All right, and, you can't make lessons, or you can't go out to camp. All right, or you're not keeping this truth as the main focus. All right, because that money, all that money that you got, first of all, you're gonna be working a lot, and two, that money that you have, it could lead to being distracted, living it up, living, the good life, so to speak, and not and ultimately forgetting about Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Because when money and riches, it comes with that pride, you get a lot of money, you get so much money that you forget about Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. You forget about the Lord. All right? Go ahead.
Yeah, Khan. So to read it again, it says, Micah chapter 2 and 10, Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with a sword destruction. And of course, is this literal, is this physically? Is this speaking about physically how we have to leave Babylon the Great, how we have to leave America and go right. to another country? No, this spiritual, so we're supposed to rise and depart spiritually, meaning we're not supposed to have our minds within Babylon and Great. We're supposed to have our minds on Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, exactly. In our minds of these scriptures, man, and to repent, not to put on the ways of the world, but to put on the ways of righteousness and of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Why? Because it says, for this is not your rest. Yeah, this is our captivity. This is our hell, man.
Yeah.
It says, because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with a sword destruction. Yeah, so if you're one of those people who, you're giving your 100% all, your 100%, full mind towards Babylon and Great, what? It says, because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with a sword destruction. Because what, this place is polluted, man. So you're putting your whole mind, towards a place that's polluted. It's polluted, just everything. The philosophies, the doctrines, the food, the air, the water. The education, the media, entertainment, whatever. Everything here is polluted. The agendas that are being pushed in America, man, everything's polluted. It shall destroy you even with a sword of destruction. Yeah, because ultimately, what this place is going to be burned up anyways. What the Yahweh Bashim Yashai, what is going to have it where this place is burned up. He's going to put the spear on these other nations. And what, they're going to shoot those nuclear missiles upon Babylon Great, which is America. Because the scriptures prophesy World War III, the scriptures prophesy how these other nations will make an alliance with one another to take down Babylon Great. And also, once Yahushua comes back, well, he's coming back to deliver his people and also to aid in the destruction of America by sending his chariots to emit high concentrated fire upon this place and the inhabitants.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what's that scripture is going into? Riches won't profit in the day of the Lord. It's roughly paraphrased. That's not how it's phrased. But
yeah, I think I know.
Okay. Yeah, because the Lord, because you got to understand, man. The Lord ain't looking at your worldly achievements, carnal achievements, accomplishments in this world. All right, it's no way that you could buy yourself, to get salvation. All right. So there's no way you could buy yourself into salvation. All right. So like we was going into, like a nigga like that, a nigga like LeBron, the Lord ain't dealing with that. I haven't even heard LeBron one time talk about the Israelites. Okay. Go ahead.
100%. He knows about it though.
Yeah, he definitely knows about it. He'll go to the bar mitzvahs.
To the so-called Jays.
Do bunny hops for the so-called Jays and stuff like that. Hang out with them.
Diddy and shit.
Diddy and shit.
Yeah, Ashton Kutcher said it was no party like a Diddy party.
Yeah.
Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah.
Party like a Diddy party.
Yeah.
Came out. Ashton Kutcher.
And
so they all know each other, work together.
Exactly. And LeBron, he's not any, and like we were going into, people think LeBron is like, some sort of a voice because he'll say Black Lives Matter, or he'll say something about police brutality or racism or whatever, just stuff that's like
the stuff that he's permitted to say.
Yeah, that's moral in this place, which that's something, right? But that's not the total truth. You got to say that we're the Israelites, that Esau is the damn devil, that the Amalek is the damn devil. He would never say that. All right. He'll lose all his money in one day. If he say something like that. All right. Go ahead.
Yeah. Just like Nick Cannon, man.
Yeah.
That dude. Hey, what he was going in, man. He was saying how we're the true Jews. We're not. But it's pretty much impossible for us to be anti-Sem when we're Shemites ourselves. Well, he was going into that, and what happened, man?
Exactly.
His whole show almost got taken down.
Exactly. But that's why we were saying, that's what comes with those. That's a part of the sacrifices that come in.
That was just the beginning. That was nothing. He don't need the show.
Yeah.
He has money. That was just the beginning.
Yeah, that was just the beginning. So imagine if he stood on that. If he didn't back down.
And Kanye West, he did a 180. He said everything I said wasn't true or some shit like that, and just don't talk about it no more.
Yeah.
That was all planned. No, I don't think that was organic or anything like that.
Esau will push the narrative. Oh, he was on drugs. He was on opioids. The galaxy gas. He was on all sorts of stuff. And nothing he say you know, is you could take serious, you know.
Yeah. He pulled out the chart. He said, so-called J's. He started naming the companies out. Like, dude, this is all old information, man.
Yeah.
Like, he's saying it now. It's prolific. This is old information that the Jays own these companies and all that. You know?
And that's the problem. You know, we've been saying this for years and years and years, but you got a celebrity who say it now. It's like, oh wow, this is crazy.
It's almost like he never even said it.
Yeah.
It's almost like he never even said those things, because like he back to normal, so to speak.
In the scriptures,
because he's on the inside. He's an insider, man. Ain't no way in hell he said all that shit. Now it's like he never even said it. You got to go look up the clips on YouTube to find the clip, but it's like he never even said it. You know?
Yeah. And the scriptures go into that too. How you know, basically going into they'll listen to what a rich man has to say.
Clothing,
yeah, but get that.
You want me to get the richest prophet not and
yeah, what's up? How do we know that Issachar is a Mexican?
Well, how do you know about all the Latinos? Why are you saying about the Mexicans?
Because I heard about these.
About what? Which ones?
The West Indians is Benjamin, and Levi. Okay. I just wanted to know, where did the Mexicans come?
Genesis chapter 49. It says in 1, and Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. It says, gather yourselves together and hear, ye sons of Jacob, and hearken unto Israel your father.
So he has an issue with the tribes, right? And he couldn't answer questions. He's the kind of guy that just, he wants you to answer his questions, but he ain't gonna answer none of yours, right? We don't gotta deal with a guy like that. Right? So my point was clear of why I said what I said, all right, about the tribes. All right, now if he's too slow to get that, that's not my fault. All right, he's saying it out Issachar. All right, but I just want to know. I don't give a fuck what you want to know. All right, the Lord don't give a damn what you want to know. More importantly, all right, we're out here to teach, all right, not negotiate with niggas. All right, you just said you hate me. You just said, man, fuck you. All right, why do you care what I say? I'm nobody. These guys, they take so much weight in what we said. We're nobody apparently to you. If I hate you and because you look like me, but we're insignificant, why would you care what I say? We're nobody. Go ahead. But these guys, man, these dumbass African Americans and Latinos, they really care about what we say, but in the same breath, we're nobody. Go ahead.
It says Genesis chapter 49 and 3, Reuben, thou art my firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength.
Now go down to Issachar.
So going down to Issachar, it says verse
So-called Mexicans.
14.
Right. Well, Judah got a problem with the Latino tribe. The Latino tribe got a problem with the Judite tribe. Mm-hmm. That's fine. All y'all gonna be destroyed. All right? Y'all tribes that hate each other, this truth is not for you. All right? Good.
It says, Issachar is a strong ass couching down between two burdens. It says, verse 15, and he saw that rest was good, and the land that was pleasant.
That's an attribute to the so-called Mexicans. All right? Now, when you go to 2nd Esdras, that's where the prophecy is. It explains to us that the northern kingdom, during the time of the king of Assyria, the Assyrian captivity, excuse me, there are many kings of Assyria. The 10 tribes came to the New World. That's the whole thing. Who inhabited the New World? The other people on the sign besides Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. It's clear. It's just as simple as that. All right? But a nigga wants you to go into a verse that says exactly that these people are them. And that's the ones that don't like the Northern Kingdom. And then the other tribes that don't like the so-called Negroes want to do the same thing. So it's like they're not going to believe anyway, right? So trying to explain something to an idiot is pointless. You know, it's really just for edification for the camera, for the brothers that already know. Mm-hmm. All right?
Yeah.
Because these regular people, they're just stupid. They never going to get it. They can't get right. All right? I mean, it's fun sometimes, going into the things, to see if he can go and get it. But I already knew he wasn't going to get it.
Like, and that's a problem with Jake too. You got such a short attention span. That's the type of nigga, like, you right. Going into a breakdown, it might be 10, 20 minutes. He'll click off after 30 seconds. You gotta actually learn the information.
Especially if you don't know it.
And you keep asking, like,
you don't know it. It's not like you heard this 50 times before. Okay, I don't gotta really watch the whole video. I can go, okay, what the premise is. But these guys are completely ignorant.
Yeah.
It's ignorant as fuck, and they don't know shit. But then his attention span short. How the fuck your attention span gonna be short when you don't? And this is pertinent information that you really need. So apparently you don't really need it. And you got to come to that realization. As you get wiser, like shit that you ain't paying attention to, it's really not that important to you because you ain't paying attention to it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you really cared, you would wait for the information. If it was that, it wasn't. It wasn't that. It was just he's another one of these walking idiots that is kind of interested but really don't care that much. Mm-hmm. And I meant when I said I don't care what he want to know. I don't care about these people that walk up here that are unbelievers, that are infidels, man. The scripture said we do all things for the elect's sake, not for some dumbass nigga.
Yeah.
They got 2 brain cells. Just walking around on a Saturday afternoon with fucking food from the fucking Chinese store, whatever the hell you got that food.
Yeah,
Smile bag on there.
He's still right. He's still there.
Bag.
Yeah.
He probably these derelicts that wait around for the buses and all that shit.
And hey, out of all tribes, it had to be Issachar.
His mind wasn't all there. His mind wasn't all there. I questioned him, but he couldn't answer. I just want to know what it is.
Yeah, like, cause he only singled out. Okay, I heard about the Southern Kingdom. Oh, I heard about black people. But I don't know about the Latinos. Or you could have said the same thing about the Gadites. You could have said the same thing about any of the Northern Kingdom. But for some reason you just singled out Issachar.
Maybe Issachar was being I don't know. He got in an argument or some shit. Now like he wants to question.
Yeah, that didn't even make any sense. And then when we giving him the answer, he keep interrupting us. You can't talk to a nigga like that, man. Because no matter what we said, he was still gonna think what he thought, and that's fine. Yeah. Just go. All right.
Gone. So this is. Yeah, what was on this other scripture? It's
King of Assyria.
Gone, I get that. So this is 2nd Esdras, chapter 13 and 40. It says, so it says, those are the 10.
Now read up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, they want these microwave lessons, where you just get they digest like you Neo in the Matrix.
Yeah.
You sit in the chair and in like 3 minutes you get everything.
Yeah.
I get that. You can learn certain things like that, but when it comes to prophecy, you have to explain prophecy.
Yeah, you gotta seek the knowledge. You gotta study to show thyself approved. It's not just gonna be a 30-second video.
Crash course.
Yeah,
Like crash
course. You gotta understand what you're reading, and believe it, Go ahead.
It says 2nd Esdras chapter 13 and 39, and whereas thou sawest that he gathered another peaceable multitude onto him, or we can start at.
Yeah, another peaceable multitude.
Yeah, that's good right there. It says verse 40. Those are the 10 tribes which were gathered, which are carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Osea the king, whom Salmanassar, the king of Assyria, led away captive. And it says, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land.
Yeah, whenever mankind dwelt. That's how the 10 tribes got to the New World.
Yeah, and hey, that just goes full circle because, you know, we were because you know what we're in the middle of doing was breaking down Isaiah the 14th chapter because you know, vocab tried to say, you know, the strangers and, you know, this already happened. But when you read 14:1, that's why it said, you know, I will choose Jacob or I have mercy on Jacob and yet choose Israel. That's talking about the northern and southern kingdom and yet choose Israel. Why? All right, because, you know, the northern kingdom, all right, went to the New World. Okay, so that just going to show you that the Lord is still dealing with the northern kingdom. All right, that's why it was a certain type of separation. Okay, going into that, the southern and the northern kingdom. Okay, so yeah, there you go.
Yeah, the whole chapter 14, all the way down to Lucifer.
Yeah.
To no fella has come down.
Yep.
To cut us down, rough and paraphrasing. Proves that didn't happen yet.
Right.
The oppression happened, currently happening, but the punishment didn't happen to Lucifer, right? Which are the Edomites, all right? The top elite of the Edomites, not even every single Edomite. Every single Edomite is not fucking Lucifer.
Right.
It's the elite of Esau.
Yeah.
What is this the man that made the earth a wilderness? Esau's not in that position right now where he's looked down upon. Where people still want to marry him. They still think he's God. So how could that prophecy come to pass yet? That's not talking about the ancient Babylonians. The ancient Israel never had the ancient Babylonians in captivity.
Right.
So what the hell are they talking about?
Right.
They're crazy. They basically, let's call it an echo chamber. The dumbass anti-Christians come and talk to each other. Don't really explain nothing really.
Yeah.
Why they keep running and saying that you want to go into Isaiah 14? Like, what the fuck are you running? Who the hell were you talking to?
Yeah.
They were running from Isaiah 14 and you can explain everything in Isaiah 14. It clearly tells you that the punishment for the king of Babylon, for Lucifer, didn't happen yet. It's clear as day.
That's what we was going into as well. You know, it's black and white. All right, it's very straightforward. Okay, it tells you exactly what's going to happen. You know, so I don't know where all this other madness, you know, vocab is getting it from, and that's just to show you that they are desperate, man. You know, they try to find it any way, you know.
It's why you can't be breaking bread with the people. These people they're fucking crazy.
Yeah,
they're insane.
Yeah.
The Edomites and the Israelites, dude, they're fucking crazy. All right.
Yeah.
You're my brother. Like, dude, you're Satan, man. You're not my brother.
And then he said,
you're the enemy. That proves that you don't even know the scriptures. So I can't even have actually a logical or biblically logical conversation with you because you think I'm your brother. Actually, you think I'm actually your brother. You're the devil. You may share certain features and skin complexion, but you're not. You're the enemy.
Yeah.
Okay? You are fit for destruction. You're gonna die the death of the uncircumcised, just like Esau. You're gonna die the same way.
Yep.
Because you can't get right. Because you think, oh, I thought I was your. You fucking thought wrong. I don't know who the hell told you that. All right.
Yeah.
You talking about some anti-Christian doctrine. Like, I'm not your brother. I could have fucking ignored you. I didn't have to answer your question. I looked at you and told you I knew you was a piece of shit. Immediately. Without you even having to speak. All right.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Con, so it says, 2 Ezra chapter 13 and 41, but they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude.
People come up and ask a question, I'm like, ignore them, just keep reading. So I look at them,
and hey, you know, yeah, and hey, you know, what's funny is that
most of the niggas are stupid, right? You can look at a nigga's face like, this dude's an idiot. As soon as you start speaking his logic, his train of thought, you're gonna be all dumb shit. But I thought, well, you thought, well, a 10-foot pile of shit is smarter than most of you niggas are. Right? A 10-foot smoldering hot pile of shit is smarter than most of you men out there. Right? Not you so-called black Latinos and you so-called white ones. All right? You're just not fit to have a actual debate with men that are trained in the scriptures. Stick to what the fuck you're good at. All right? Not the scriptures. We dictate to you what the scriptures mean. We tell you what they mean. We ain't negotiating with you.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, you know, and that's funny because you know what, when that dude came up, he wasn't even listening. You know, he was already trying to.
That's how niggas they run their mouth.
He
They
kept interrupting.
And threatening you. They're good at that too.
Yeah.
They're good at threatening you and running their fucking mouth.
Yeah. It says that they will leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country.
That's what they were supposed to do. But they came over here and started worshiping idols also, because they brought the idols with them.
Right.
Of course, they brought idols with them. That's how Jake do. They got good intentions, right? But then it gets corrupted. What?
It says, and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt.
Right, that's the Americas, North, Central, South America. All right. And then the Lord, they were under the curses. The Lord put curses on their ass. All right. They started to degenerate into heathens. All right. What?
It says, verse 42, that they might there keep their statutes, where, it's like it says, which they never kept in their own land.
Right, and that's what the Northern Kingdom is supposed to do, but they degenerated into complete heathens. All right. And certain of the tribes kept some of the customs, but it was still adulterated with heathenistic practices.
Right.
All right. So the Lord sent Esau over them to beat the shit out of them and totally humiliate, totally abominate them, just make them filthy, totally filthy. All right. So they had their own demonic practices, and then Esau came in, did demonic evil shit to them, and then Judah came. All right, and that's how Judah and Ephraim came together in oppression. All right, now we're gonna come up from oppression through the knowledge of Yahweh Shai. All right, his knowledge is going to save us if we're of the elect. Now, because of his sacrifice, all of Israel will be saved in the kingdom, just because of his mere sacrifice, his death and resurrection, rode on the third day. What Joel say? What he was in the heart of the earth for 3 days, something like that. The third day he rose.
Right.
All right. So when he rose, that fulfilled the prophecy. Well, his death fulfilled the prophecy of him being wounded for our transgressions. All right. Was that Isaiah 53 or something like that? Or 56?
Yeah, Isaiah.
So his death sealed us. That was a sacrifice. And then resurrected him. Then he got resurrected. That just fulfilled more prophecy. But his death had been slaughtered. The sheep for the shearers, he was deaf, dumb, meaning he didn't speak, and that was for our sins. And that also brought together the destruction of total destruction of the Edomites at the same, because Yahweh Shai's death was his vicarious death of him. It was for a reason. It was for to set the forgiveness of sins for the Israelites,
Right.
and also so we could receive the kingdom. Right? Because if we didn't receive the forgiveness of sins, we wouldn't have received the kingdom. And the kingdom is us ruling on earth and other planets, and the other nations being our servants, handmaids. Isaiah 14, like we talked about earlier, right?
Yep.
So that's the kingdom. So his death solidified, brought into fruition those things so they could come to pass. Esau as a perpetual slave unto his death, all right, to his total annihilation. And then the other nations for a certain period of time, all right, but they'll still be our servants. What?
Gone. So it says, 2nd Ezra chapter 13 and 43, it says, and they entered into the Euphrates by the narrow places of the river, for the Most High then showed signs for them and held still the flood.
Yeah, so that was a spiritual journey. That was not a normal journey. So if they try to do that today, that shit ain't gonna work the same way. Right? That was a spiritual journey. All right. They did it physically, but they were guided, they were pushed and pulled like a magnet to the new world. All right. If anybody tried to do that today, it wouldn't go the same way. All right. The Spirit, the Holy Spirit was with the 10 tribes, so they could make it over here. All right. Good.
It says, for through, it's like it says, and held still the flood till they were passed over. Verse 45, for through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half. And the same region is called, it says, Arsareth.
Yeah, and it's likely that they stopped along the way. It wasn't just a straight journey. They probably stopped in Africa or in different parts of South America, you know, to get more supplies. They knew about different trade posts, and you know, that makes sense. Yeah, so that's how the 10 tribes got here. All right, and then all the 10 tribes are divided by their attributes. All right, that's how we know who the tribes are. All right, yeah. If you don't believe that, I mean, we at this point we don't really give a shit. Well, we never really gave a shit in the first place, but you know, that's how we divide them. All right, and that's what we truly believe, 100%. That those attributes that Genesis 49 explains, and how Jacob explains, they're divided between the different tribes. Those attributes, all right, in the prophecy. All right. Now, how do we know that Judah and Benjamin Levi? Give me precepts on that. Besides color and slavery. All right. The yoke of iron. All right. That's how we know. Yoke of iron, slavery, no man shall buy you. All right, minus the color, okay? But let's take the color out of it. A yoke of iron and slavery, and the prophecy of us being poor,
Right.
put into a bag with holes, wholly oppressed. You know. Now it does say, it doesn't mention tribe, but it mentions Israel as a whole. Give me that, I will toss you like a ball into a large country. Read that. I mean, who the hell is that talking about? Who the talk? Let's put ball in there, it should come right up.
Got it. You got it. All right, I'll read it. It's Isaiah 22 and 18. It says, he will surely violently turn and
Read
toss.
Those ships sound like they're being turned and tossed. What?
All right. So this is Isaiah 22 and 16. Or we can start at 15. Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh of hosts, go get thee unto this treasurer, even unto Shebna, which is over the house, and say, what hast thou here? And whom hast thou here, that thou hast hewed thee a scepter here, as he heweth him out of a scepter on high, and that graveth an habitation for himself in a rock. Behold, the Lord will carry thee away with the mighty captivity, and will surely cover thee. He will surely violently turn and toss thee like a ball into a large country. There shalt thou die, and there the chariots of thy glory shall be the same of thy Lord's house.
Shall be what?
The chariots of thy glory shall be the shame of thy Lord's house.
Yeah, that's talking about the tribes of Israel. All right? Going to violently toss us. Man, he's going to beat the shit out of us. All right?
Yep.
Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua said, or Yahweh the Father, Yahweh Shah the Son, said, if we do not keep his commandments, that all these curses were going to come upon us.
Right.
All right. So when Isaiah read that precept, when he read that prophecy, all right, those are part of the curses in Deuteronomy 28 that we were going to experience. So if you're not under those curses, you're not an Israelite. All right? If your people, I should say, if your people are not under those curses, you're not an Israelite. Period. So if your people are under those curses and you're rich, you're an Israelite. Right? So all the curses combined, all of them. We'll say so. So the 12, you got the 12 tribes of Israel. Each your nation has to be under. Even if you're spread out over the world, your nation got to be under every single one of those curses. If you miss one, you ain't Israel. Right? So all the 12 tribes. Now, some of the curses affect certain tribes more than others, but we're all one nation, right? Divided into sub-nations, right? And further sub-nations. Right? Like you got a lot of Northern Kingdom and Southern Kingdom in Southeast Asia. In the Philippines, in Indonesia, in China. All right, they're their own nation. All right, let me that prophecy. Genesis 35 and 11, and Genesis 22. A nation within a nation, and within a nation. So we got Ephraim in America, Ephraim in Puerto Rico, Ephraim in Southeast Asia. They're all we're one nation, but they're different nations. This is according to prophecy. And if you can't understand that, look, we ain't explaining it to you. You're explaining it now. If you can't get it, then that's on you. That's your fault. We're gonna be stressing your ass out trying to make you get it. You know, you're wasting. Most of you people are wasting time. All right, just listen and stop talking. Got one of them more.
Yeah. This is Genesis 35 and 10. It says.
So that mentions the two boys, right? Go ahead.
Yep. It says, and Yahweh said unto him, thy name is Jacob. Thy name shall not be called anymore Jacob, but Israel shall be thy name. And he called his name Israel. And Yahweh said unto him, I am Yahweh Almighty, be fruitful and multiply. A nation and the company of nations shall be of thee.
Oh, I'm talking about Genesis 40. Oh yeah. I was thinking about Genesis 40.
Oh God.
But that's perfect.
Time.
A company. Go read it again.
Yeah, Genesis 35 and 11. And Yahweh said unto him, I am Yahweh Almighty, be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company of nations shall be of thee, and kings shall come out of thy loins.
Nation and a company of nations. Mm-hmm. All right, so look up the Hebrew word and the Greek word right there, Kayaba.
Go on, I got it.
Ethnos.
Go on, so this
so
is...
you have the singular form, I believe it's ethnon, and the plural form is ethnos. Can you look? Do you have that access to that or no?
Yeah, count for the Greek.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you have singular and you have plural. I just want to point that the English carries over to the Greek, and the English carries over to the Hebrew also. They're all pretty much saying the same exact thing. In the English with the S, and the Greek with the S. Well, with a slightly different spelling.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
That's that one, right?
Yeah.
Ethnos.
Ethnos. Ethnos. Yeah. Ethnos is nations. It's plural. It says plural, right?
For that one?
Yeah, it says inflected.
Yeah, it says noun, genitive, plural, neuter.
Yeah, there we go. Right. Yeah, we can just make it up. Right?
Yeah.
A lot of these people are so damn slow and stupid that I think we just make stuff up on the fly to prove our point. And we're not grammatically correct. Like we reading the syntax wrong and the sentence structure. Right. To make the people are stupid. Even though it's prophecy, since the syntax, the structure can be incorrect with proper Greek, because it's prophecy, it's poetic. But that the sentence is written properly in proper Greek. I believe it's coin Greek, if I'm not mistaken. Coin. the Greek that was written. And well, that might have been New Testament Greek. The Old Testament Greek might be different Greek. But we can look that up. What structure of Greek it was. I forget which one. New Testament Greek is slightly different from Old Testament Greek. All right, but that's more nuance on a deeper level there that really don't need to know. But the sentence is written properly. Nation and a company of nations. Go ahead.
Gone.
Oh, you got.
Yeah, so getting down to Hebrew, the Hebrew word is
Goyam.
Gone. So it says, yeah, so a nation is Gawaya, and it says in a company is Wakwahal, and then it says of nations, Gawayim. So Gawaya and Gawayim.
Yep, Yum, right?
Yeah, Yum.
Yeah, Yum.
Final.
Yum.
Yeah, Khan. For plural.
Yeah. So, company, recompany again?
Khan, so company is a Hebrew word, quahal, which means assembly, congregation, convocation. It says,
Yeah, he's going to make us a congregation of nations. All right?
Yeah.
That still proves that we're one nation. We're one congregation, but we're multiple nations within the same congregation. All right? And doesn't Gad define his tribes as nations, right? That's how it's translated in English, right? Nations. So it makes, it perfectly lines up with the breakdowns, with our breakdowns, which come from the Holy Spirit, by the way. It's not something that private breakdown. It lines up with prophecy. Because you have Mexicans on the East Coast and the West Coast that are totally different.
Right.
Like Mexicans on the West Coast, like Arizona and California, they call us all fool. That's like how they talk, a fool and all that shit. The Mexicans on the East Coast don't say that shit. Hey fool. It's a fool. Come on, hey, man. The Mexicans on the East Coast don't talk like that. Shit. Man, they're different nations. They're the same tribe, but they're different nations. That's according to prophecy. They're just different. They got that Chino, whatever, not Chino, Chulo, that look, you know? Cholo.
Yeah.
What, don't them East Coast Mexicans dress like that? They look strange, man. We don't do that in Jersey and Philly and Delaware and Maryland and shit.
yeah, Florida. Yeah.
New York,
Down
Florida,
south.
yeah, they different, They're the same exact tribe. You got certain Caribbean tribes that come to America and they go to New York, and some go to Florida.
Yeah.
Different. They're different.
Yeah.
Some they don't care about the cold. Some hate the fucking cold. They might rather be something more close to their nature.
Yeah. Even Issachar. Even Issachars make music. Rappers. They sound straight like Judah, man.
Right. Yeah.
So that just goes to show.
It's a Mexican rapper. His dad was Mexican. I think his mom was black. Cudi, is that him? Kid Cudi?
Oh, I don't.
Look up Kid Cudi. I think his mom and dad is Mexican. I might be getting it. I'm not a rap expert. Kid Cudi, nationality. What were you reading?
Genesis 35.
Yeah, all right. So read. Finish that.
All right. Genesis 35. I'll read 11 again. And Yahweh said unto him, I am Yahweh Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company of nations shall be of thee, and kings shall come out of thy loins.
You call Israel nations. That's how we know that the Gentiles that can be saved are the Israelites. All right, they became Hellenized. They became their own nation. Israelites, the Southern Kingdom speaking Greek. That's it.
Yeah.
And worshiping their customs.
Yep.
Oh yeah. It says Kid
You got
Cudi.
something?
Yeah,
Okay.
Khan.
Now,
So-
I'm not familiar with his raps, but I'm sure he don't rap like a Mexican. I don't know what that even means, but I'm sure he raps more so in the form of Judah.
Yeah.
It says Kid Cudi, his father Lindbergh Styles Mescudi.
Scooty, that's Spanish. That's Scooty.
It sounds like it. Yeah, Mescudi. It says was of Mexican and African American descent. His paternal grandfather Charles Manito Mescudi was from New Mexico, and fuck it.
Yeah, so he got some Mexican.
Yeah, the same
So he very well could go back to Issachar. So his father's like Mexican women, apparently. So
Yeah.
there you go. Ugh.
Yeah, Khan. So yeah, his fraternal grandfather from New Mexico.
From Mexico. And he got his Spanish last name.
Yeah,
So
Mescudi.
more than likely, his ancestral line comes from on his father's side, Issachar.
Yeah.
Kid Cudi.
Yeah.
Yeah, his father looked like straight. I mean, now if you just look at him, like he looks like
I haven't seen
Issachar.
him in a minute. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. He look-
Yeah, a little bit.
mix,
Yeah.
he look mixed, yeah.
Mhm.
So we know for a fact that according to prophecy, that the Israelites are the nations that's spoken about salvation. Or you
Yeah.
could say Gentiles. They're interchangeable.
Right.
All right?
And this-
Nations, Gentiles, heathen, you can interchange them.
Yeah. And when you read Genesis 35, it's only talking about Israel.
Right.
When even the 12th verse, and it says, "In the land which I gave Abraham and Isaac, to thee I will give it, and to thy seed after thee will I give the land." So
Yeah,
it's
the nations.
distinguishing.
The nations,
It
going to
is
give the nations, which are his Abraham's seed, is going to give to the
Yeah.
land,
And that-
Canaan, the land of Canaan.
Exactly.
All right?
Exactly.
So they're being labeled. He labeled Israelites Gentiles. It's as simple as that. Like, but these people are so fucking stuck on stupid. It says Gentile, but you stupid asses.
Yeah.
He just said that the Gentiles are Abraham's seed, his seed.
Yeah.
Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Those are the Gentiles. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob's sons, they're the Gentiles.
Yeah. And that's how you know, because with Abraham, that's why it distinguishes, that line, right? When
Divine
Ishmael,
line.
when Ishmael was born, Abraham thought he was going to get the blessing, but the Lord was like, no, you're going to have another son, Isaac. Scripture's
Abraham
going to-
didn't know. He like, oh, I thought this was my son. Oh, this
Yeah.
ain't the one. No, oh, it's
Yeah.
another one. Oh,
Yeah.
he can't. It's not up to Abraham.
Yeah, the scriptures say, "In Isaac shall
Right.
thy seed be called," right?
Yeah, he
Ab-
loved his son, but that's not the point.
Yeah.
Abraham also loved not Abraham. Isaac. He loved Esau.
Yeah. And we can
Well, because he's his sword anyway. Of course you're gonna love your sword, because you're gonna tell it what the
Right.
fuck to do, and then you're gonna destroy his ass and put it and do exactly what you programmed him to do. Yeah. And then and Isaac wasn't in his full power because he wasn't manifest as the Lord yet anyway. He was manifest as Isaac, right? And he loved the venison, the
Yeah.
deer meat or whatever,
God, yep.
elk, well, whatever game they had. I think you call it right game. Like running meat, I think. Whatever. That's what I'm sure is deeper meaning. But yeah. When people cook for you, you love them. When they know what they're doing and they can cook real good and serve. And that don't mean he didn't love Jacob. He loved Jacob obviously more. As Isaac said, "Give me the prophecy. I have made him thy Lord." So I think he loved Jacob more than he loved Esau. It wasn't a mistranslation. It was Edomite on the internet like 10 plus years ago. It was a mistranslation. Look, the Lord loved, God loved Esau. It was a mistranslation. This Edomite looked pathetic too. It's like 10 years ago on YouTube. I wish I could find that video. Brothers brought it to my attention. I think it was Debaka, it was Zion. He said it was a mistranslation. It was a gross mistranslation. Isaac said, I have made Esau thy servant. All right? Well, he said to Esau, I have made Jacob thy Lord. What more can I give thee? I was at Genesis 28 or something like that.
I think, yeah.
Genesis
So
28. So yeah,
yeah,
he definitely
27.
loved
27.
Jacob more than he loved Esau. What?
It says Genesis chapter 27 and 34, and when Esau heard the words of his father,
He
Yeah,
bitched, got a bitch.
he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry.
That's exactly what you should have done. Because any of us that heard that shit, we would have wept too. We would have did the same thing. That was fucked up what happened to him. Like, damn, well, that's how you were created, man. It's fucked up for you. I can't do nothing about that. The great Gulf fixed. Okay, that's what it is to me. But
It says, and when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, Bless me, even me also, O my father. It says, verse 35, and he said, Thy brother came with subtlety, and hath taken away thy blessing. And he said, Is not he rightly named Jacob? For he hath supplanted me these 2 times. It says, It says, he took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing. And he said, hast thou now reserved a blessing for me? And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, behold, I have made him thy lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants, and with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son?
Other nations. All right? Other nations. You're all brothers, but you're the evil brother.
Right.
We come from one blood, right? Come from one gene. Right?
Yeah.
But y'all are the servants. The other nations are the servants.
Yeah.
All right, not the other tribes of Israel, or the other nations. All right, Jacob was Jacob was Esau's brother. He's our brother, but he's the servant. Moab, Ammon, Ishmael, they're our servants. All right. What?
It says, verse 38. So,
Genesis 48.
This is Genesis chapter 27 and 38. And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me
got
even.
Plenty of blessings. Yeah, he about to give you to him. Give them to you. Good.
It says, bless me even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac, his father, answered and said unto him, meanwhile, just a few moments ago, Esau was willing to give up his whole birthright, just for some lentils and a morsel of meat.
Right.
Showing that Esau completely lacks accountability.
Might have been lamb. Lamb and rice.
Oh yeah, come.
So Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. And Jacob was a sheep master, right? Yeah, Jacob was a sheep master. Yeah, so yeah, probably was half cooked sheep lamb, quarter cooked, 1 minute on each side. Oh no, he was soldering it, right? He's boiling it. I forget exactly what it says. We'll read it. Go ahead.
Consul says, and Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the finest of the earth,
America,
and of the dew of heaven from above.
Mainly America, but he got footholds everywhere. All right, Russia. He's in South America, Europe. Well, that lacks mineral resources. You gotta go way up north to like Norway and all that to get the oil. But they dwell there, so that's part of the fact. But it's mainly America.
Middle East.
Yeah, the East. So they put the infrastructure there so they could benefit to use their oil, so they ain't got to use American oil because America can actually sustain itself. But their strategy they got is to control the world, so they're using foreign oil to control where it goes, and not to use American resources. That's the strategy, which is the thinking behind it, and then the strategy is the plan is, to control the governments over there in the East, so they can have power and wage war on whoever they will. That's how they carry their strategy out.
It says Genesis chapter 27 and 40, and by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother.
By the sword shalt thou live. That's his prophecy. All right, meaning they're gonna be militant. All right, they're always gonna have weapons, 2-ball cane, which means traveling weapon. You go look in the early books of Genesis, which means traveling weapon, and that same spirit got reincarnated in Esau. It's a traveling weapon. All right, so I believe King David had him under in slavery.
Yeah, come on.
Saul, I think, might have subjugated him first, if I'm not mistaken. All right. But Agag, yeah, Saul did subjugate him first. Well, Saul did. And then David inherited everything Saul accomplished, and then more so. All right, you look at the map with Saul's Israel, and then David's Israel. David's Israel is much that he actually solidified the borders, the main borders that we know today. Is that it?
Khan, it says, yeah, so it says, so this Genesis chapter 27:40, and by that sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck.
It's not a chronological order, okay? So you got 3 parts there. You got serve. You got read again.
It says, and by thy sword shalt thou live.
So sword, service. Go ahead.
And shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck.
Then you rebel. All right. So slaves, you're gonna be our servant. You're gonna rebel, and you have power over with the sword. All right. Those are 3 different prophecies and blessings. All right. And they're not in chronological order as they're read. All right. Because he's our servant back then. He broke out, but he's gonna be our servant again. All right. As it is written. All right, that was it. Isaiah 48.
Isaiah?
Genesis.
All right, got
To Manasseh and Ephraim blessings.
Yeah. So this Genesis 48:1. And it came to pass after these things that one told Joseph, behold, thy father is sick. And he took with him his 2 sons, Manasseh and Ephraim. And one told Jacob and said, behold, thy son Joseph cometh unto thee. And Israel strengthened himself and sat upon the bed. And Jacob said unto Joseph, Yahweh Almighty appeared unto me at Luz in the land of Canaan and blessed me. And said unto me, behold, I will make thee fruitful and multiply thee, and I will make of thee a multitude of people. And will give this land to thy seed after thee for an everlasting possession. And now thy 2 sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, which were born unto thee in the land of Egypt before I came unto thee into Egypt, are mine. As
right. Yeah, he had a vision. He didn't just make it up. All right, the Lord, most of Yahweh told him. A great spirit told him. It said that these 2 boys are going to be part of the tribes. And they're going to inherit the blessing. Well, they're going to inherit the blessing anyway because they're Joseph's sons. But
it says, as Reuben and Simeon, they shall be mine. And thy issue, which thou begettest after them, shall be thine, and shall be called after the name of their brethren in their inheritance. And as for me, when I came from Padan, Rachel died by me in the land of Canaan in the way, but yet there was but a little way to come unto Ephrath, and I buried her there in the way of Ephrath, the same is Bethlehem. And Israel beheld Joseph's sons, and said, who are these? And Joseph said unto his father, they are my sons, whom Yahweh hath given me in this place. And he said, bring them, I pray thee, unto me, and I will bless them. Now the eyes of Israel were dim for age, so that he could not see. And he brought them near unto him, and he kissed them and embraced them. And Israel said unto Joseph, I had not thought to see thy face, and lo, Yahweh hath showed me also thy seed. And Joseph brought them out from between his knees, and he bowed himself with his face to the earth. And Joseph took them both, Ephraim in his right hand toward Israel's left hand, and Manasseh in his left hand toward Israel's right hand, and brought them near unto him. And Israel stretched out his right hand and laid it upon Ephraim's head, who was younger, and his left hand upon Manasseh's head, got in his hands wittingly, for Manasseh was the firstborn. And he blessed Joseph and said, Yahweh, before whom my fathers Abraham and Isaac did walk, the power which fed me all my life long unto this day. The angel which redeemed me from all evil, bless the lads, and let thy name be named on them, in the name of my fathers Abraham and Isaac, and let them grow into a multitude in the midst of the earth. And when Joseph saw that his father laid his right hand upon the head of Ephraim, it displeased him. And he held up his father's hand to remove it from Ephraim's head unto Manasseh's head. And Joseph said unto his father, Not so, my father, for this is the firstborn. Put thy right hand upon his head. And his father refused and said, I know it, my son, I know it. He also shall become a people, and he also shall be great. But truly his younger brother shall be greater than he, and his seed shall become a multitude of nations.
Look that up. Seed, multitude of nations. This is elementary. But again, if you don't know it, then, you know, it's like a college course.
Yeah. Console.
Dignitary coming through. He blocked the street off. Like Biden. Senator or something. Y'all want to get set up. Get GTA or something like that. Armored car truck.
So it says, you said get that Hebrew word?
Yeah, seed and multitude of nations. Can't get
No, we don't.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah.
We don't got anything. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Yep.
Anybody got $1?
No, we don't got anything.
So it says his seed, Zerai. So yeah, his
Bigger beard than mine. Go ahead.
So it says, and his seed, which is Wazariwa, which goes back on the root word Zerai, which means seed, offspring, descendants, posterity, children. So yeah, his seed. Yeah, you know what's funny? You know, she actually, you know, she came up a couple of times.
She,
you know, the first
she does the same thing every time.
Yeah. The first time, and then, you know, I put it like I boosted up the audio. You know, you see like bitch.
She said it again.
Yeah, she said
Said it again. Yeah.
She, every time. See, so
Every
that's why
time.
we don't. Hey, that's why we don't deal with
spirits
that. That's why we don't deal with that.
She's a user. A lot of people that are users out here. Con artists. Or sympathy, they try to get sympathy from you instead of get stuff from you.
Yeah, see, so why are we gonna deal with that?
Right, that's why she's fucking homeless. She's a miserable bastard. Got demonic spirits on her.
So it says a multitude of nations, which is the Hebrew. It says Mala'ah or Malat Hagawayim, which literally means full of nations. Malah meaning full.
Full nation.
Yes.
Full of nations.
Yeah, fullness, handful. So yeah, full. You know, so full of nations. That's how Ephraim's gonna be.
Look up in the Greek.
So in the Greek, it said, well.
F9.
Yeah, by the way, I think, it said that Septuagint is coin Greek.
Coin. Septuagint's coin Greek. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, F9. Platos, F9. Platos, F9. Click on Platos. Second and last word.
Yeah, plethos, which means it says a multitude, a great number of men or things. Yeah, it says a fullness, a large number.
So it links up with the Hebrew.
Yeah,
Right.
come on.
Yeah. So although the Greek and Hebrew is not perfect interchangeable translations, it's a lot of time they match. They match right up. You know, even though they're like sometimes when you change it over, it's not exactly equivalent, but sometimes it is. It's a decent equivalent, although it may not be perfect. But you can get understanding from it, the Hebrew and Greek. And that's why the Lord made it so. That's why the Septuagint is there. It wasn't there because it doesn't help us. The Greek is there because it does help us. You made it up with the Hebrew. Right. Now, I guess we're about to wrap up, but the Apostle Tahar, he mentioned, because this is a little minutiae, not minutiae, but just to provoke some thought. because it's a debate on whether Paul spoke Latin or not, right? And the Apostle Tahar mentioned that the Agrippas spoke Greek, you know, but it's possible that they spoke Latin because they were Romans. They did have Roman. I don't know if they had Roman citizenship. I really can't prove that, but they were operating under the authority of the Romans. It was get it in the book of Acts. It says, "Thou almost convinced me to be a Christian." Right. So if they were Romans, then they had to speak Latin. But the Apostle Tahar mentioned that they spoke Greek. It's possible they spoke both, Greek and Latin. But my point is, what languages did Paul speak? So we're going to do a bit of research here just to get some understanding. All right? It doesn't say exactly what language Paul was speaking. He was speaking in that phrase, but if who he's speaking to was a Roman, then he had to speak Latin. All right? And I'm sure he spoke Greek too. Well, I'm not sure. It's possible that, you know, the Romans spoke Greek also. Go ahead, read it.
So it says Acts chapter 26 and 27. King Agrippa, believest thou the prophets?
King Agrippa. You can do a little quick search too on the language he spoke. But read that first and then go for it.
So it says King Agrippa,
Hebrew, Greek, and Latin.
believest thou the prophets?
Hebrew, Greek, and Latin.
I know that thou believest. Then Agrippa said unto Paul, almost thou persuadest me to be a Christian.
Almost persuaded thou me to be a Christian. So what language was is it Agrippa?
Yeah, Agrippa.
Agrippa, what was he speaking? Maybe he was speaking Latin. All right? Or he could have been multilingual. He could have spoke Greek and Latin. It really doesn't say. It doesn't say at all. But we know Paul definitely spoke Greek and definitely spoke Hebrew. But there's a debate whether he spoke Latin or not. So I don't know. Because it doesn't say it specifically. But you can extrapolate that he spoke Latin because he was speaking to Agrippa. All right? And Agrippa was, to my understanding, was a Roman. So we can do some a quick search or whatever. But, no, he's looking up Hebrew, Greek, and Latin. He's looking up something. Read precept.
Yep. All
So
right.
these are
So
the three predominant languages during the Roman Empire.
So this is the book of Luke 23 and 38. It says, and the superscription also was written over him in letters of Greek and Latin and Hebrew. This is the King of the Jews. It's also one in John 19 and 20. This title then read many of the Jews, for the place where Yahushua was crucified was nigh to the city, and it was written in Hebrew and Greek and Latin.
Hebrew, Greek, and Latin. So we know the official language of the Romans was Latin. And they had to know Greek too, because they took over the Greek-speaking world. And, you know, if you were educated, you know, you learned, you know, different languages too. Important languages. You know? So if you were a Roman citizen, and you had a certain level of education, you would take some Greek classes. So, did you find anything like King Agrippa's language? Look up Agrippa, King Agrippa. No, in the Bible.
Oh.
And it's reading something on King Agrippa. You know, Agrippa was, I believe he was a part of the Herod line. Well, you're going to read it. Look it up in the Bible.
Weird. Can I look it up? Gone. So yeah, so it says King Agrippa, also known as Herod Agrippa I, most likely spoke Greek and Hebrew, as these were the primary languages spoken in Judea during his reign, with Greek being the language of administration and commerce, and Hebrew being the language of religious practice and the common people.
All right, so he was set up by the Romans. All right, so he wasn't, more than likely wasn't a Roman. He didn't have Roman citizenship, so he was set up by the Romans as the king. How he got that position, I don't know.
It also says, while not explicitly stated, he may have also understood Aramaic or Aramaic, another common language spoken in the region at that time.
All right, look up, just do some quick search on this Paul. Did Paul speak Latin?
Yeah, you can look it up.
All right, so Agrippa, the Herods, were mainly Greek and Hebrew speakers, all right, that were set in power or allowed to rule with under the Romans, under Roman authority.
Yeah. So it says in the AI overview, it's uncertain how well St. Paul wrote Latin, but it's likely he had some knowledge of the language. Paul was a Roman citizen who often interacted with Roman officials, so it's unlikely he didn't know at least some Latin. However, he wrote his letters in Greek, not Latin.
Yeah, that's most of the Israelites spoke Greek. And you had some that could obviously speak Latin. But our people are known for being bilingual.
Right.
And you can be in a foreign land and not speak the language perfectly. Just deal with it. You can deal with certain words and still get by. Because you know what Aquila and Priscilla were from Italy. Get that. Priscilla and Aquila lately come from Italy. So they may have spoke. They may have been trilingual, or they may have only knew certain words in Latin. It doesn't really say. Well, put that in the search engine. Priscilla and Aquila.
Yeah, I got it.
See what.
I got the scripture.
Priscilla and Aquila. See what language they spoke.
So to read this, it says Acts chapter 18:1. After these things, Paul departed from Athens and came to Corinth, and found a certain Jew named Aquila, born of Pontus, lately come from Italy, with his wife Priscilla. Because that Claudius had commanded all Jews to depart from Rome, and came onto them.
Yeah, so you had to be Latin-speaking Israelites, because the sign that he put up was Hebrew, Greek, and Latin. All right. Okay. So it's more than likely that Paul communicated with King Agrippa in Greek. It's likely. Because the Edomites had been in the Greek empire or Greek kingdom since Alexander. They've been mixing their seed amongst, before that, but with his father, Alexander's father. So they've been spreading their seed amongst the Greek city-states and Greek kingdoms for a while before Alexander. So when an King Edomite came up, he's more than likely going to be speaking, Aramaic, Hebrew, and Greek. So that makes sense. So it might likely that Paul communicated to King Agrippa in Greek. What? Priscilla.
It says Priscilla and Aquila, mentioned in the Bible, most likely spoke Koine Greek, as it was the common language of the Roman Empire at the time, especially in the regions where they lived and interacted with Apostle Paul, like Rome and Corinth.
So Greek. That's how predominant Greek was, even in Italy.
Wait, look up what Paul was speaking to King Agrippa for, most likely.
Where'd you look at that?
Huh?
Where'd you look at that before?
Oh, I was just looking at verse 14, or Acts 26, where it goes into. Well, I can read it real quick. It says.
You asked a different question.
I thought that's like what you're trying to link to, but like Paul.
Yeah, well, before we read that King Agrippa spoke Greek mainly in Aramaic.
Oh yeah.
So you're
yeah.
asking a different question now.
Oh yeah.
What did he speak during the conversation? You have to
Yeah,
ask him now.
this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably gonna say Greek first still.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It said, according to the Bible, when Paul spoke to King Agrippa, he used the Hebrew language, which is generally understood to mean Aramaic, as it was the common language spoken by Jews in the region at the time.
Well, again, you don't really, can't really prove that, but
It says in Acts
but
26.
it's possible. You know, it's possible. But and knowing Paul's multilingual, so he is like, you would assume, you had to assume the language, or you already heard him speaking, or he greeted you first. He started speaking the language that he greeted you in first. You know, but you know, it's not. There's really no evidence to say either or, because you know, people back then, our people were multilingual, and if you're a king, you're going to be multilingual. You know, you're well trained in different arts and sciences and languages, so you can communicate properly with foreign nationals. For trade, and alliances, so that makes sense. All right, anything I want to add? I'm about to wrap up.
Yeah, kind of. That's all I got.
Give me hold on one more point. Give me when he got stranded. Paul got stranded on, was it a Malta? He got bit by the snake. Do some research on that. What language were the barbarians speaking? Paul communicated with them, right? And he didn't even die. The Lord said we should drink poison to live. So Paul should have died when he got bit by that snake. Came out the fire. I believe they were classified as barbarians. I haven't read this precept in a minute. So only with Great Millstone you gonna learn on the spot. Otherwise, people they just talking. Talking about shaking the tambourine or going to cookouts, telling how the Lord is good. We actually researching things on the fly and get you understanding. And this is how you learn. You do these things. You put precept upon precept. You look things up. You see what sometimes is opinion. Sometimes they got evidence to back it up. Sometimes what's more likely, extrapolating. So got it.
Yeah, Khan. So this Acts chapter 28:1, it says, and when they were escaped, then they knew that the land was called Melita. It says, verse 2, and the barbarous people showed us no little kindness, for they kindled a fire and received us every one, because of the present rain and because of the cold.
Yeah, so barbarous. So I believe that means outside of the Roman Greek Empire or something like that. Give me the language.
Yeah, it says
maybe some dialect of Greek or something like that.
Also, the Greek word is barbaros, which means one whose speech is rude, rough, and harsh. It also says one who speaks a foreign or strange language, which is not understood by another. Then also says used by the Greeks of any foreigner ignorant of the Greek language, whether mental or moral, with the added notion after the Persian War of rudeness and brutality.
All right. So probably wasn't speaking Greek. That's likely. Probably wasn't Greek or some corrupt or mixture of Greek and Hebrew and Aramaic, which I believe was the speech of Laconia. When you do the research on that, it says it was a mixture of Greek and Aramaic. The gods had come down to us in the likeness of men. When that event happened, when he healed the brother, the gods come in the speech of Laconia, they said, I believe that was a mixture of Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek. Like a slang, so to speak. Like broken, like the language that Gad was speaking. It's before the Spaniards came. But you got
It says, according to the Bible, when the Apostle Paul was shipwrecked on the island of Malta, the inhabitants likely spoke a language called Punic, which is a Semitic language closely related to ancient Carthaginian.
Which is he. They try to go around the shit. The Carthaginian, that's Hannibal.
It says
The Punic Wars. That was the Israelite that's fighting
Yep.
the Roman Empire.
it says this
So
is
it's basically like a different dialect of Hebrew. Because when Jake goes to different lands, they change the language slightly changes based upon their family slangs and all that. You know. Right?
Yep. It says this is based on the biblical account in Acts 28, where the island is referred to as Melita. It says Malta had a strong Punic presence through the past Carthaginian
So they-
rule.
Yeah, go ahead.
So this language was probably still spoken during Paul's time.
Yeah, so they were speaking the dialect of Hebrew. Right? They were speaking Hebrew, so so it wasn't. It was like a messed up form of Hebrew. Right? That's it.
It says later linguistic shifts. It says over time, Malta experienced probably later on. Over time, Malta experienced linguistic shifts with influence from Greek, Latin, Arabic, and Sicilian, leading to the modern Maltese language.
Ah, that's it. Yeah, and that's how it happens. Yeah. So I'm sure you got a lot of Israelites on that island.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that was.
So this is Acts chapter 28 and 3. And when Paul had gathered a bundle of sticks and laid them on the fire, there came a viper out of the heat and fastened on his hand. And when the barbarians saw the venomous beast hang on his hand, they said among themselves, "No doubt this man is a murderer, whom though he hath escaped the sea, yet vengeance suffereth not to live." And it says, and he shook off the beast into the fire and felt no harm. Howbeit they looked when he should have swollen or fallen down dead suddenly. But after they had looked a great while and saw no harm come to him, they changed their minds and said that he was a god. It says, it's lucky, this Acts chapter 28 and 7. It says, in the same quarters were possessions of the chief man of the island, whose name was Publius, who received us and lodged us 3 days courteously.
All right. So he's communicating with them. So they're speaking some form of Hebrew and Greek. All right. So barbarous. All right. Ignorant of the Greek language. All right. So we'll leave that there. Hope y'all edified. Shalom next week. Shalom.